Hey guys, it's Budget Bunny here, and I don't think Ella is feeling too well right now. She's kind of hunched down really low on this perch and she won't really move. She seems almost lethargic or kind of swaying back and forth, so I'm just gonna check her out. Okay, so she really isn't moving, and I know she's sick when she's letting me pet her. I'm just giving her little scritches right now around her neck. Ella never lets me touch her um, except when she's ill. That's how she always has tipped me off in the past, that she's sick. So I think tomorrow we're going to have to pay a visit to the vet because I'm not sure what's going on with her, but I'm quite concerned about it. It's okay, baby birdie. It's okay, honey. I'll bring you out in a minute. We'll have a snuggle. Oh, you're such a beautiful birdie, Ella. You're such a sweetheart. This is actually the second time this has happened. I'll go into more detail in a little bit, but I just want to look after her right now, make sure that she's okay. Come here, little chicken. Where are ya? Where's Ella? There she is. Hi, Goose. So we're just waiting in one of the rooms for the vet to come in and have a look at Ella. This morning she was acting perfectly fine again, but last night, like you saw in the video, she seemed really off balance. She actually stopped being able to use her feet for a while and they went into kind of a weird formation. So we'll see what the vet says. Yeah. Hey guys, so we are back home now. As you can see, Ella looks like she's completely acting normal. She's eating. I've just given her some millet right now because we really want to encourage her to continue drinking and eating. And I just thought I'd kind of give you an overview of her symptoms and what she's been diagnosed with. So a couple weeks ago, I happened to notice that Ella seemed to not really be using one of her feet properly. I was a little concerned and about to tell my husband about it, and then she just started playing again like normal. So I just thought it was my eyes playing tricks on me because it was literally maybe a couple seconds worth, or that she was just being a little bit clumsy. So I kind of put it out of my head. And then on Friday night, she actually became quite ill. So I always do evening checks around the house on the pets just to make sure everyone's settled in for the night and okay. And also with Ella, I tend to sometimes change her seed dishes and things like that at night because she's perching up somewhere and less likely to attack my hand when I put it in the cage. So the first thing I noticed when I went to change her food bowls was that she was hovering really low to the ground on the bottom of the cage, which at bedtime is really bad. Your bird shouldn't want to be at the bottom of their cage. They should want to be up high and perching. So that was my first indication that something was wrong. And the next was when I opened the cage door to change her food dishes, she didn't try to come at me at all. So I was at this point quite worried about her. I very slowly reached out my hand to her and she wasn't moving at all. She kept closing her eyes, almost like she was really, really sleepy, except she was really low, hunched down to the ground. So at this point, I decided to try petting her. When I was petting her, she wanted me to pet her. She was leaning into my finger. I knew something was wrong, really wrong then because Ella never ever lets me touch her. And the only time that she flies to me willingly or wants me to comfort her is when she's sick. So I brought her out of the cage. Again, she didn't try to bite me or anything, but you might be able to see in this video, but she has 4 toes. 2 should point forward and 2 curve backwards. And what happened was all 4 of her toes were leaning forward. And this really frightened me. This is a symptom of lead poisoning. So I was quite concerned and also really paranoid about what she could have possibly gotten into. So I held her in my hands for about an hour, and again, she seemed really lethargic. She wanted to be pet, couldn't use her feet. They were in a weird formation. And then all of a sudden, she chirped. She gave me a little bit of a nip and flew away. And she pooped when she flew. And then when I went to go pick her up, she just landed on her bed. Her feet were back in formation. She seemed alert and fine. So then I was trying to think about what could have possibly caused this. And upon doing some research, there is a house plant that I had put above her cage. Now, I should have done better research about it because the first website that popped up when I got it, it was called a philodendron, said that it was safe for birds. And upon doing further research, actually said that it was highly toxic to pets. So, and it could cause like nerve damage and things like that. Ella loved to play with it because it was a hanging plant, so it would hang down. On both the days that I had kind of seen this happen with her, she had been playing with this plant. There were no bites out of it or anything like that, but I thought maybe some of it had gotten into her system, had caused the nerve damage in her feet, or the temporary paralysis or whatever it was it said that it could cause. And then when she pooped, she kind of pooped it out of her system and then was feeling better. So like I said, this was Friday night. And she was fine Saturday. I removed the plant. She was fine Saturday, fine Sunday, fine all day Monday. And then again Monday night, this is when, as you saw in the beginning of the video, I found her on her perch. And at that point, I knew that something else was going on. So this morning I got up early. She was acting completely normal, but I did call the vet and they said they had a 10:30 appointment. So we've just gotten home from that appointment, and I just thought I would go over kind of what she's been diagnosed with. So upon examining her, I did feel a little silly because I'm bringing this perfectly fine bird into the vet. She didn't have any of the symptoms she exhibited last night, but I did have some video if I needed to show the vet what was going on. What the vet actually found in the physical exam was that her abdomen was quite swollen and kind of squishy, but didn't feel hard like if she had an egg inside her. So what we decided to do was an x-ray, and the x-ray actually showed that there is fluid in her abdomen. And this is actually what's known as egg yolk peritonitis. Female bird will lay an egg, and what happens is she releases the yolk first into I guess her higher abdomen. I don't know too much about their physiology, but she releases this yolk and it sits there for a while and builds the hard shell around it, and then that continues down into their lower abdomen until she lays it. Well, if the shell, I guess, doesn't form properly, the yolk, or doesn't form at all, the yolk continues into their abdomen, and it's harboring bad bacteria basically. And if that is allowed to burst, then that fluid can get into her bloodstream and basically cause septic shock. It poisons her. And as you can see, she's a very small bird, so that wouldn't take much to do. So that fluid is what's causing her to lose the ability to use her feet, because it puts different pressure. It's fluid in her abdomen putting different pressure on her organs and her body parts. And that's why I had seen her feet lose their ability to move, because it was putting pressure on that. That's also probably why she was hunched over weird, because it was putting pressure on different areas of her body and she's trying to compensate for it. So the other thing that the vet said is that it's really good that I brought her in when I did, because since it's been so infrequent, that means that we've hopefully caught it early, because like I said, this can be deadly to a bird. And you know, the fact that this is only happening once every couple days right now is making her feel like we've caught it in plenty of time, thank goodness. The other thing the vet said is to not worry about diet right now. Whatever Ella wants to eat, obviously healthy foods. I'm not going to give her like junk food like potato chips or something. But whatever Ella wants to eat, Ella is to get, because we want to make sure to keep her health up, to keep her nice and strong, make sure she's eating and drinking and in best possible physical condition so that she can beat this. And I'm not really overly concerned. Obviously I am worried, but Ella is a fighter, and you guys know she is feisty. She is full of life. They kind of gave me the same talk when she had the lead poisoning, that, you know, it can cause permanent symptoms. The treatments, birds don't always respond to treatments. They're a lot harder to treat than a dog or a cat. And man, did she bounce back from that. Come on. There you go. So yes, so she said to make sure that she had a cuddle bone and a mineral block. So I told her I had already purchased those fresh ones last night. So she said that was good. She said to just encourage her to eat all of her favorites. So I've been making eggs for her a lot and crushing the shell into the eggs, because the shell is what actually has a lot of calcium in it. And we just want to make sure that although her bone density and everything look great, that she continues to get a lot of calcium, because we're a little concerned on why an egg didn't properly form in the first place. Ella has laid eggs before and never had any issues. So that's why we're just being overly cautious basically. But yes, she said, you know, anything Ella likes, Ella gets right now. So millet, she's got whole wheat pasta in there. She's got scrambled egg with crushed egg shells, some romaine lettuce. She can have, I did double check, even though I had read online that, you know, plain Cheerios were fine and unsweetened almond milk is fine. So she said that's fine if Ella wants to eat breakfast with me, that those foods are fine as well. They're okay, safe foods for birdies. So yeah. Oh, what's going on? So basically what we're doing is starting Ella on a pain reliever and antibiotics. And what this is she's supposed to get it twice a day, and it's supposed to clear up the infection and also help relieve some of the pain that she's in. I'm to give her about 72 hours, so she could be a little up and down until that 72 hours to see if it's actually working. The other thing is that if in that 72 hours she actually starts to just go downhill, where she's not, you know, going up and down, she just is steadily declining, I'm to bring her in right away, which of course I would do. I also just wanted to quickly show you Ella's invoice here, just so that you can see how quickly vet visits add up. And this is also why I always recommend that you're putting a little aside every month to kind of an emergency fund. We thankfully don't have to use it that often, but as you can see, today alone cost $242.43. It was $85 for the 2 x-rays that we did, $83.70 just to do the exam and consultation because she is an exotic. It was $22.36 for the enrofloxacin, and which is the Baytril, and Medicam was $23.48. So, and then there's taxes on top of that. So that's why I just say, guys, always make sure, you never know when it's going to come in handy, and it's such a relief when you don't really have to worry about the finances behind the visit. Okay guys, so I'm just getting ready to give Ella her medication. I didn't want to film this at night because the lighting wouldn't be very good, so it's just Wednesday morning now. And I just wanted to tell you a little bit about what I'm giving her. So the pain reliever is Medicam, and it says, please give Ella 0.01 milliliters orally every 12 hours for 7 days. Give with food. Please do not exceed the frequency of this medication. Contact us if there are any signs of vomiting, diarrhea, increased thirst, or urination. The other medication we have here is enrofloxacin. Basically, that's Baytril essentially. Baytril is like the brand name, but that's what enrofloxacin is. So this is the antibiotic, and it says please give 0.06 milliliters by mouth every 12 hours for 10 days to Ella. So right now I'm just going to measure out my dosages so I have them ready. When I get Ella out of her cage, I can hopefully just pop them into her mouth. Now 0.06 and 0.01 are really small amounts. We're talking about a 34 gram bird here. So well, she's 37 grams right now, but that's because of the fluid inside her. So literally 0.01 is 1 drop of the pain reliever, and 0.06 is a very small amount as well. So I'm just going to get these measured out, and then I'll get Ella and show you how I give her her medication. There. Good birdie, Ella. Don't wreck that. Yeah, don't wreck it. Okay, so as you saw in that previous clip, that is how I give Ella her medicine. And sometimes I towel her as well. That's an easy way to get her out of the cage just because she's not the nicest little thing. And you just kind of gently put like a dish towel over top of her and then scoop up her in the dish towel, and then you just kind of slowly unwrap it and hold her around the neck. A bird's neck is their strongest muscle, and that way you're ensuring you're not hurting any of their little organs or anything like that, or putting pressure on that fluid. So you just kind of hold her around the neck a little bit and then squirt the medication in when she attacks the syringe. So it's not going too bad. As you can see, she's looking pretty normal. She continues to look pretty normal and take her meds and eat and drink lots. So hopefully after the 10 days we will be back to normal.